Somebody said if you don't like playing with LeBron, you wouldn't like playing with Kobe. Bro, you guys got to stop these narratives, man. It's not that I didn't like playing with Bron, you guys. And, I don't want to go into detail about it. Some of y'all comments just be so asinine. Like when I was in Cleveland and I was a young player, I had no idea Bron was going to come back.
Kyrie Irving just dropped a bomb that could shake one of the biggest legacies in basketball history. And the craziest part, he did it with a single sentence. Not in a press conference, not in an interview, but straight up on a random live stream. No warning, no filter, just raw truth spilling out while the cameras were rolling. Within seconds, the internet went insane. LeBron's fans rushed to defend their king like their lives depended on it, and the comment sections turned into full-blown battlegrounds. But what people forget is that Kyrie isn't just some former teammate. He's the guy who was there, the one with receipts, memories, and a front-row seat to everything that went down behind closed doors in Cleveland. And now, he's ready to talk. What makes this even more dangerous is how calm Kyrie was when he said it. He wasn't angry or ranting. He was chilling, locked in, staring dead into the camera with that ice-cold confidence, and said something that sent shockwaves across the entire basketball world. He said that after his playing days are over, the real story about what happened with LeBron is coming out. Then he added, "Trust me," with that tone that made everyone realize, this man's been sitting on secrets for years. That wasn't gossip, that was a promise. And you could tell by how fast LeBron's fan base started panicking in the comments that they know exactly what he might be holding back. Something big went down, and people are starting to connect the dots. Let's rewind for a second, because the truth about Kyrie's time in Cleveland has always been way more complicated than it looked. This whole story starts long before LeBron even came back home. What most people don't remember is that Kyrie Irving never actually wanted to be in Cleveland in the first place. That's not hate, that's just the truth. When he got drafted #1 overall in 2011, he didn't get to choose. The league decided his fate, and he landed on a broken team, still recovering from LeBron's dramatic exit to Miami. Kyrie showed up as this insanely skilled young guard with the wildest handles anyone had ever seen, but he was thrown into chaos. No real roster, no leadership, no direction.
The reason why I say I would have loved to play with Kobe, because I would have loved to have started my career with, I love Cleveland, don't get me wrong. I'm appreciative of all the things that they've done for me, but at the same time, I would have loved to choose the franchise I wanted to go to. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to develop next to some of my favorite players and some of my favorite people. Because being a young player, when you're on a team that's not winning a lot of games, there's a lot of bad habits that form, and that's what ended up happening to me when I was very young. I had a lot of bad habits. I was not a winner. I was not a good loser.
Night after night, Kyrie was forced to carry a squad that wasn't built to win. He was putting up crazy numbers, but those wins didn't matter much when your team's stuck in the basement of the standings. And here's where things get real. Kyrie recently admitted that those early losing years changed him. He said they made him develop habits he didn't even want. He started playing selfish basketball, not because he was arrogant, but because nobody else on that roster could put the ball in the hoop. Those were the scars that shaped him. And maybe, just maybe, that's where his story with LeBron really began. He became a one-man show out of survival, not ego. But just when Kyrie was finally breaking free from those bad habits and stepping into his prime, everything flipped overnight. LeBron James announced he was coming home. And in that instant, Kyrie's entire journey got hijacked. Imagine this for a second. You're a 22-year-old superstar just entering your 4th NBA season, that magic window where players usually evolve into the face of their franchise. You've battled through the losing years, learned from every mistake, and now you're finally ready to lead your own squad. Then boom, the biggest name in basketball walks through the door and takes over everything. Your spotlight, gone. Your voice in the locker room, silenced. Your leadership, put on hold indefinitely. That's exactly what happened to Kyrie Irving in 2014. And when you listen to how he talks about that era, it's wild, because he never flat out trashes LeBron. He chooses his words carefully, but one line always pops up like a warning sign. Playing with LeBron is a different animal. And he doesn't mean that in a friendly, he's such a beast kind of way. He means it in that this changes everything tone. Like the rules of basketball, leadership, and identity all get rewritten. Because when you're on a LeBron team, the expectations don't just rise, they twist. Suddenly, you're no longer judged on your growth or your game. You're judged on how well you fit into LeBron's system, how well you help his narrative, how much you make him win. And here's where it starts to turn dark. Because LeBron didn't just bring his game back to Cleveland. He brought something even more powerful, control.
So when you guys make it about one player, it is kind of just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just one player that you have to promote. Like, we had like solid players on our team. When you're playing with somebody like Bron or somebody that you guys like to compare him to, it's a different animal. It's a different journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're automatically expected to be at the top of the charts, the top of the league. You know, every time you play with Bron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front of the camera. And for me, I was just a young person trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's not that I disliked playing with Bron at any time. It was just literally, it was my time to move on. And that's what people got to accept. They want a deeper, detailed dive in terms of what happened. It's like, it was my time to move on.
Let's rewind for a sec to Miami and Pat Riley, because that's the real game changer here. Before South Beach, LeBron was all talent but no structure. He was emotional on the bench, unpredictable under pressure, and struggling to fully lead. Then Pat Riley got hold of him, and everything changed. Riley drilled him with discipline, structure, focus, and a winning mindset that turned him into a calculated machine. By the time he left Miami, LeBron wasn't just an athlete anymore. He was a brand, a franchise inside the franchise, the most polished version of himself we'd ever seen. But here's what Kyrie's been hinting at, and it's what most fans totally missed. LeBron didn't just learn how to win games. He learned how to control the entire narrative. Pat Riley didn't just teach basketball. He taught the art of perception, how to manage the media, shape the story, and protect your image no matter what happens. When LeBron came back to Cleveland, he brought that entire system with him, and Kyrie ended up living inside it. He's talked about how nothing around LeBron happens by accident, how every interview, every headline, every leaked rumor feels filtered, edited, and spun before it ever hits the public. He's even mentioned how certain stories were twisted off camera, how team politics played out in the shadows, and how somehow the narrative always circled back to make LeBron look like the hero. That's heavy, because it means LeBron didn't just return as a better player, he came back as a man who knew how to run the whole operation, including how his teammates, even stars like Kyrie, fit into the bigger storyline. And if you're Kyrie Irving, sitting there watching the machine move around you, watching your own image get shaped by forces you can't control, that's not a partnership anymore. That's a system built to make you disposable. Then came the moment that was supposed to rewrite everything. Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, Cleveland against Golden State. Kyrie Irving, just 24 years old, steps back over Steph Curry with 53 seconds left, releases that perfect shot, and bang, history. The arena explodes. Cleveland finally wins its first championship in over 50 years, and the city loses its mind. That shot wasn't just a bucket. It was redemption, validation, and proof that Kyrie was built for the biggest moments. The dagger that ended decades of heartbreak, and the moment that should have changed everything for him forever. That shot should have defined Kyrie Irving's entire career, the kind of moment that lives forever. Ice in his veins, history on the line, and he delivered. It should have been replayed non-stop as one of the coldest game winners ever. But that's not what happened. And this is where Kyrie's frustration turns from quiet to boiling. He hits the shot that ends a 50-year curse. And when he turns on the TV, what does he see? Blocked by James! Over and over and over again. LeBron's block on Iguodala got played like it was the only reason Cleveland won, while Kyrie's championship dagger practically erased in real time. The shot that sealed the title became a background detail in someone else's highlight reel. And it didn't stop there. LeBron went on national television and declared that the 2016 championship made him the greatest player of all time. Not them, not we, not the team. Just him. Imagine that. Kyrie averaged 27 points per game in that finals, went shot for shot with Curry, and hit the dagger that decided the series. But when the cameras rolled, the story got twisted again. It became about LeBron's redemption, LeBron's legacy, LeBron's moment. Kyrie, reduced to a footnote in his own masterpiece. That kind of thing burns deep, because that's when you finally see the truth. The system around LeBron was never about celebrating the team. It was built to protect and elevate one person, no matter what actually went down on the court. And then, things got ugly. Fast forward to the 2017 finals. Kyrie was a monster. He dropped nearly 30 a game, going head-to-head with Kevin Durant while the Warriors dominated every matchup. KD was cooking LeBron. It wasn't even close. Yet somehow, when the Cavaliers lost, every excuse on earth came out to shield LeBron. Kyrie took the heat. The role players got blamed, but LeBron, untouchable as always, protected by the same media armor that's followed him his whole career. Then, less than a month after that finals loss, the unthinkable hit, trade rumors. Kyrie Irving, the man who delivered Cleveland its first ring in half a century, the guy who carried them through back-to-back finals, suddenly being shopped like a problem to fix. You've got to understand how disrespectful that is. Behind the scenes, whispers started coming from LeBron's circle. Talk about moving on from Kyrie like 2016 never happened. Fans jumped in too, acting like wannabe GMs, throwing out trade packages online like it was fantasy basketball. The disrespect was unreal, and that's when Kyrie snapped. He had enough. He demanded a trade. He wanted out. And that single move changed everything. Because in doing that, Kyrie became the first superstar in LeBron's era to walk away on his own terms. No one else had ever done that. Every other big name in LeBron's world either joined him willingly or got quietly phased out when their shine faded. Dwayne Wade got pushed aside in his later years. Chris Bosh's role got reduced before his health issues. Kevin Love saw his minutes shrink until he disappeared from the spotlight. But none of them had the nerve to leave by choice. Kyrie did. And that decision cracked the whole illusion wide open, because Kyrie's exit exposed something LeBron's fans never wanted to face: that the LeBron system only works when everyone around him accepts being replaceable. The second someone refuses to play that sidekick role, the entire machine panics. And that's when the character assassination began. This wasn't just basketball criticism. It was personal. It was coordinated. The attacks came from every direction. Headlines, analysts, social media. They tore into everything he did. They said he was a bad leader in Boston when the young guys didn't click. They twisted his injuries into narratives that he was lazy or unreliable, like he was skipping games just to make drama. They painted him as difficult, moody, unstable, anything to make the world forget that he once hit the shot that brought a championship to Cleveland. It became open season on Kyrie Irving's name because he did what no one else dared to do. He walked away from the LeBron machine and refused to play the role of the loyal co-star ever again. They came for everything. Even his personality. They called him weird, moody, hard to play with. Every little struggle turned into another excuse to say Kyrie couldn't win without LeBron holding his hand. It didn't matter that he was still an elite talent, one of the most skilled guards in the game. The narrative had already been written in ink. No matter what he did on the court, the story never changed. Then the pandemic hit, and everything went off the rails. Kyrie made a personal decision, choosing not to take the COVID vaccine. And the backlash was insane. People weren't just debating his choice, they were demanding he be banned from the league. Commentators called him selfish, reckless, even dangerous. But after a while, it didn't even feel like the outrage was about public health anymore. It felt personal, like people were angry that Kyrie dared to think for himself. And here's where it got truly wild. A huge chunk of that hate came straight from LeBron's fan base. They acted like Kyrie's decision was somehow a shot at their idol's legacy. That's obsession on another level, borderline bizarre. And through all that chaos, where was LeBron? Silent, completely silent. No tweet, no interview, no support for his former teammate. Just total radio silence while his fans did all the attacking for him. And that's exactly what Kyrie meant when he talked about the politics behind the scenes. LeBron doesn't need to say anything directly. His system runs automatically. The machine takes care of it. The fans handle the dirty work. The narratives stay clean, and LeBron's image floats untouched above the storm. It's smart, it's calculated, but let's be honest, it's cold, and it's ruthless. But here's where the story flips. Because Kyrie didn't crumble, he didn't fade, he didn't prove anyone right. He went to Dallas and completely flipped the script again. He became a champion on his own terms. Now he's playing the most locked-in, efficient basketball of his career. In Dallas, Kyrie evolved into everything his critics said he could never be: a true leader, a steady veteran, and a respected voice in the locker room. Younger players listen when he speaks now. He's not chasing fake media approval anymore. He's living with real peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing who you are, not the kind you perform for cameras. And here's the wildest part. Even when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers, Kyrie stayed calm. He didn't panic, didn't throw shade, didn't spiral. He stayed focused, kept putting up numbers, and showed everyone that all those people who claimed he was impossible to build around were dead wrong. Kyrie turned himself into one of the most dependable players on the team, consistent, motivated, and locked in. He proved that the problem was never his talent or his leadership. It was the narrative. People needed him to fail to keep someone else's story safe. His downfall protected another man's legacy, and once he refused to play along, they tried to bury him for good. And now we're right back to that live stream moment that shook the internet. Because Kyrie wasn't just venting. After all the hate, the years of silence, the endless twisting of his image, he finally looked straight into the camera and made a promise. When I'm done playing, you guys will hear the real story. Trust me. The way he said it, it wasn't casual, it wasn't for clout, it was heavy. Like someone who's been carrying secrets for years and is finally ready to drop them all on the table. You could feel it, that edge in his voice, that quiet fire that said, "I'm not scared anymore." And here's what makes it even more chilling. He added another line that stopped everyone cold. No one could ever live in my shoes. No one could ever have anything legitimate to say about what they would have done in my position. That's not frustration. That's truth from someone who's seen too much. That's the sound of a man who lived through things we'll never fully understand. Moments that could completely rewrite how people see the entire Cleveland era if they ever come to light. The way Kyrie said it, calm but cutting, felt like a warning. Like he's done protecting the system, done biting his tongue. The truth's been sitting in the shadows for years, and he's finally ready to bring it into the light. You can feel it in his energy. Kyrie's done protecting other people's legacies at the cost of his own truth. That calm fire in his voice says it all. He's not holding back anymore. So now the real question isn't if Kyrie's gonna talk, it's what happens to LeBron's legacy when he does. Because for years, LeBron's entire system has been airtight. Every headline gets managed, every storyline gets massaged, and every ounce of blame somehow lands anywhere but on him. It's been one of the most carefully controlled images in all of sports. Spotless, strategic, and protected by a media machine that never misses a beat. But here's the thing. Kyrie's promise just cracked that armor wide open. The second he said those words, you could almost hear the panic ripple across social media. Because when he finally lays it all out, the politics, the tension, the behind-the-scenes conversations that never made it to camera, that perfect image LeBron built might not come out untouched. And what makes this wild is that Kyrie didn't need a Netflix doc, no tell-all book, no PR rollout. He flipped the whole internet with one sentence on a random live stream. Just one. And the reaction told the whole story. People went into full crisis mode. Timelines flooded, fan pages on fire, defenders scrambling to twist his words before he even revealed anything. You could see the fear in real time. Because deep down, everyone knows how dangerous his truth could be. Kyrie's not bluffing. This man's been sitting on years of unspoken stories, real behind-the-curtain moments that could change how we view the entire LeBron era forever, and the clock's ticking. His retirement isn't far away, and when that day comes, when he finally sits down with no contracts, no team politics, and no league filters, the world's gonna stop and listen. Because when the truth comes straight from the one who lived it, it hits different. Kyrie Irving was there. Every conversation, every power play, every twist that got rewritten for the cameras. He saw it all unfold up close. And soon, he's gonna make sure everyone else knows what really went down behind those Cleveland walls. So if this story opened your eyes to what's really been brewing between two of the biggest names in basketball, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, share this with a friend, and subscribe right now. Because when Kyrie finally speaks, you're gonna want front row seats. Trust me, it's gonna be way bigger than anyone expects. See you on the next one.